Welcome back, folks. Davesterio versus Archie Gang's Programmatic in this any percent league qualifier coming right at you from GSA. I'm electric, super hyped to commentate this race. Davesterio, what is there to be said about this guy that has not already been said? Fantastic streamer and amazing runner at this game at that. Programmatic, though, also showing his chops off in a number of his races already. It should be a fairly close one. I think Programmatic's PB does have a pretty good advantage, but Dave does have some really clean gameplay and is pretty consistent to boot. So we'll have to see how it all works out. Gonna be getting started momentarily here for y'all. Yeah, it'll probably be just a moment before we get started. Dave's gonna probably have to go ahead and put the file name in and such. Yeah, super hyped for this race. And yeah, 3 Celeste races in a row. There will be another Celeste race coming up right after this. That one will be between, if I can get my handy dandy calendar up, which you can also pull up with exclamation point schedule, YP versus Crichter. So that'll also be a pretty exciting race coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, okay, we got some moves in the back room, looks like. We'll be getting ready in just a moment here. Yeah, Archie Boy did win with a 31-12. All right, getting that file name input. Just a couple minutes more, and we'll be getting into some prologue, and then finally Forsaken City, and have some pretty nice movement going on. Flush's time was a 35-27, I believe. It was a 35-2x. I know that. 3 numbers is just enough for a commentator to memorize. 4, and it's a little bit unreliable. We got the countdown going in the back. Should be seeing some action on screen in just a couple moments. Here we go. All right. So, of course, as we saw in that last race, nothing much happens in prologue. I guess now is kind of a decent time to talk a little bit about this game, like just as a whole for people who haven't played it before. The game involves, as a story, just you trying to climb this mountain for a lot of personal reasons. And along the way, you just keep encountering these obstacles that make you just want to turn back. A lot of characters keep telling you, you probably shouldn't be doing this. You're not a mountain climber. What are you doing? But it's really a story about resilience, and pretty awesome game as a result. Now going into Forsaken City, nice quick prologue from these guys. When you get both of them to be able to do the prologue skip, it's pretty quick, pretty painless. Just a nice little band-aid to pull off right at the start of the run. And then now Dave with some really nice movement. Programmatic as well. Ooh, a little bit of a bop there. Programmatic not quite getting the dash where he wanted it to go. But overall, a nice city from both these guys so far. Dave with the just slight lead. Very, very clean movement from both these guys. Coming up to some of the harder rooms in this first section, though. Yeah, Dave had a little bit of a misdash back there. Wanted to make sure that I wasn't misreading that, so I watched for Programmatic to do it. So saving a little bit of time there. Dave with a nice spike bounce and the final strat. Oh, missing the wall grab. Gonna be losing a bit of that lead, but is still gonna come out of there. A 110 Forsaken City, not bad, with a 111 from Programmatic. So just less than a second ahead on Stereo. Wow. Okay, now moving into Old Site. This first area has kind of an interesting mechanic to it that I'll talk a little bit about at the very end, but the music here is just absolutely serene. Like, I mean, the whole OST is great, but I just, in particular, really, really love this stage, especially just like the slow progression of the music. Once you break the mirror, the drum fills getting added in. Just everything just comes together really, really nicely in this section. Especially the background aesthetic is just really beautiful, as well as our players' movement. No major mistakes in this area at all either. Looks like Programmatic lost a few seconds to something. Wasn't quite sure what. All right, Dave. Moving handily through this battle and chase. Nice threading that needle right in between those two battle-ins. Who Programmatic with the unfortunate death in that room. Not even sure what exactly he died to. You think Resurrections is the most played song on Spotify? I can see it. I can definitely see it. What is the estimate? Runs of this game take an average of 30 minutes. In this qualifier stage, we've seen most runners take like a 31, 32 time or so. I've seen a couple of sub 30s, but they've been a little bit sporadic. Yeah, the estimate is to go fast. Also, Davesterio and Programmatic now in their awake sections. Nice movement from both. Movement in this section, very important. So that mechanic I was talking about, the whole first half, or really first 3/4 of this chapter, are entirely a dream. You haven't moved once from the campfire you made at the end of chapter 1. And this awake section actually has some kind of difficult movement. You want to be able to use those corners to your advantage on occasion with corner boost, but also mainly avoid losing your momentum on them. But this race still pretty close. Davesterio holding onto that lead pretty handily. Just go fast, Forehead. Just make the red hair girl move fast, Forehead. All right, Dave. Moving on towards his keys, towards the huge mess section. Programmatic going in for the first key. Quick little reminder that this game is based on in-game time, so Programmatic is an additional 5 seconds ahead of where it kind of looks like he is. Yeah, here's to a very clean resort. A very clean resort just looks fantastic. Oh, Davesterio having a little bit of a bop in the very end of the huge mess there. really difficult to move through and keep maintaining your momentum. Programmatic trying to deal with the same thing himself. Yeah, going through a little bit faster there. Oop, Dave, very clean backup there. Wow. I thought for sure he was going to end up having to take a death due to missing that cycle. Very nice. Okay. So now Dave moving on over to books. Programmatic going to be right on his tail, though. Okay. Dave, meanwhile, going to be moving into the laundry room. Unfortunate death on that very early Dust Bunny pillar, but not going to lose too much time. These guys are actually very, very close together. Based on that like timing differential, it's still pretty much anyone's game at this point. Very, very minor lead for Dave. Going towards Demo Dash though, right after the elevator tunnel. Yeah, this is a game that is relatively easy to pick up, but very difficult to master. The skill ceiling is near infinite, honestly. Oop, Dave, unfortunate Demo Dash miss there. Gets it second try, all right. You know, Programmatic going for his own dash. Oh, first try fail. Okay, second try from both. No real time gained or lost. Dave getting nice and cleanly through the subsequent room. The restreamer's having a little bit of an issue. We'll be getting it sorted after this race. Apologies. It's more than likely a situation where we'd have to completely take the stream down in order to fix it. And so it's not as bad as it has been in the past. So for now, we're just going to leave it as is until the next game. Yeah, the debug mode in the PC port is so good. It's not even a port really, but the PC version's debug mode is really good. The other versions technically have it, but since you have to enable it by technically altering your save file, it's much more difficult to enable. Yep, exactly. It's not a run like Ocarina of Time 100%, where if you mess something up, like you could potentially be unable to finish. Like that's not really a thing. All you're gonna do is just lose a little bit of time if you die. But like, I mean, it's easy if you're comfortable with homebrewing. All you have to do on Switch is get a save exporter like Checkpoint and just like modify the save and then reinstall it. But like for an end user, it's a lot easier to just do it on PC where it's just a text file. You don't have to mess with like auto RCM and all the other like really weird Switch homebrew stuff. Fair, fair. Yeah, Switch homebrewing is at a weird point. I really hope at some point it's going to be able to get to the point that like 3DS homebrew is at. Or like the Wii, for instance. If the Switch ever got to Wii tier homebrew, oh man, it'd be a perfect console. The program making up some pretty significant time over Dave here in Golden Ridge. Oh, Dave with the unfortunate spike death there. And we're getting that resync for you guys. As you can see, Programmatic taking the lead by a few seconds here. Only about one room ahead or so. You know, they really are just like neck and neck. One mistake from either can either change this lead or really solidify it. Dave going for that dashing strat. Okay. Nice movement for... Oh, no, the spike death. It cost a good few seconds. Gonna put Programmatic further in the lead. Are there any risky strats? Plenty. There are a ton. There's a lot. One mechanic that you'll see pop up a lot is spike jumping. So you can actually, on some platforms, the way the spikes are made, they have like a rounded hitbox. There's a very tiny bit of the wall that doesn't get intercepted by that hitbox, so you can bounce off of it, but it's very, very tight. And of course, you're also seeing like really precise movement through these windy sections, occasionally trying to skip various like orbs or like other structures that you're normally supposed to bounce off of. Yeah, shout outs to stress balls. I see hand pain and stuff being discussed. Stress balls are the real OG. Especially if you're like kind of fidgety like me. It's like not only do you get something to occupy your hands, like you also actively prevent hand pains. Programmatic moving into Temple A with a pretty solid lead. Let's see how Dave's timer reads as he advances. Now, almost 20 seconds of advantage for Programmatic, but it's nowhere near over. All those 20 seconds could be lost in Bubs drops, so definitely going to be very apprehensive about how that's going to turn out, but these guys having a fire Temple A right now. Programmatic, unfortunately not getting the the yeet jump. Getting my tricks a little confused. Dave, though, advancing into the darkness and going to be able to go for it himself in a moment. If he can get this switch, okay. Getting that first half of the yeet jump as well. Oh, Programmatic taking a death in the tape room here. And Dave, meanwhile, getting a weird angle on that orb, going to cost him a few seconds. Yeah, that Death's Corner boost is a really sick strat whenever you actually get to see it in complete full. Yeah, Dave is going to make up a little bit of time on Programmatic from that. Yeah, lead shortened up to about 10 seconds. Okay. Now, Programmatic approaching the Bubs drop. Nice checkpoint abuse there. Programmatic is going to solidify his lead for now. Now, let's see if Davesterio can prevent this deficit from expanding. Oh, getting right up there, missing the wall bounce entirely. Unfortunate. Dave had a little bit of trouble with Golden Ridge. That's really where I think basically all the time loss came from. The Programmatic is going to be moving right along here. Oh no, second try fail. It's a pretty precise wall bounce that you have to get. only like a 2-frame window, I think. It's a very tight window. Okay. Third try Bub's drop. He'll take that. Unfortunately, is going to give Programmatic a pretty significant lead now, but that's okay. Oh, with a buffer, there's a 4-frame window? Oh, okay. So Dave, moving on along. Try to approach the through the mirror section here. And Programmatic, meanwhile. Oh, taking a death right on the end of this Seeker room. Making such good progress, too. Nice key room from Dave. Meanwhile, Programmatic going through the gauntlet. Nice avoiding that last Seeker there. And Programmatic in the impossible room. Meanwhile, Dave taking care of this Seeker movement here. Pretty nice 5Bs from both these guys so far. Really, really nice to see. Okay. So Dave getting through the gauntlet nice and handy. Meanwhile, Programmatic moving on to reflection. This is shaping up to be a pretty great race so far, honestly. Dave with a little bit of a disadvantage from those Bubs drops, but overall making some good time. All right. So both these, or sorry, Programmatic nailing leg skip. Davesterio about to be attempting it in just a moment. Pretty significant difference, unfortunately. Like just based on timers, I think around now is where Dave actually left 5B on a Programmatic side. Oh, but this is the type of stuff that Dave's going to need to take that lead back. Programmatic taking down Fortunate Death on that Kevin block room. We've seen that room be finicky, but not in that way before, I don't think. Okay. Nice Kevin block movement from Dave there. Both of them just blazing on through Summit, or Reflection. This is the complete opposite of Summit. This is actually like the bottom of the mountain. No, Programmatic's late skip went totally fine, I think. Oh, he didn't even do it? Oh, okay. I think I was looking at Dave's side when that happened because he was still in 5B. Okay, Dave going to be moving into the battle and fight momentarily. Programmatic making some big progress into it. Sorry for the silence, but I mean, the movement in a lot of ways speaks for itself in some of these rooms. Programmatic going to be going for battle and boost. And it's good. Nice. Meanwhile, Dave heading for it as well, but of course that timer differential about a minute back or so. Okay. Nice introductory rooms from both. Programmatic getting a little bit deeper into the fight. These first few rooms aren't too nasty, but later on, if you take a death at the end of the room, you're losing easily in like 15, 20 seconds. Okay. Very, very nice movement from both through this battle and fight. No major issues from what I've seen. I mean, this whole fight section, like, with all the visual elements and everything on screen, it's a wonder these guys can react at the rate that they do. Dave having to take a bit of a ledge grab there. Meanwhile, Programmatic moving right along very fluidly. Oh, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. These types of rooms. Deaths in here are very costly. Especially hope that he doesn't take a death in this room. That would be just nasty. Okay, he's good. Just needs to make it through this laser gauntlet room. It's interesting how in this room only, Battlein finally got the great idea to, hey, maybe I should just be at the end of the room so I can shoot at them more. Dave, though, following along nicely. No deaths on his side of the screen. Going to be making up a little bit of time over Programmatic if he can pull this last bit of movement off clean. All right. So we got that chapter completion, the 22:08 from Programmatic. Not a bad race time at all. Exactly a minute ahead, pretty much. Davesterio with a 23:09 exit. Now we are going to be trying to get a resync on this action for y'all. Dave opting to go ahead and watch the first little bit of the summit cutscene. That doesn't add to your in-game timer at all, so we see a lot of runners do it just to kind of go ahead and catch their breath a little bit before just this monster of a stage. Okay, nice movement and intro for Dave and for Programmatic. Entering 500. Isn't this PB? You know, for Dave, I think it actually might be. If he pulls off a really clean summon, I think this might be a PB for him. And yeah, we're getting that resync started for y'all now. Ooh, Programmatic not quite getting the dash he wanted off of that moving block. Okay, nice movement through 500 from Programmatic. Going for that reverse hyper to enter this room with a lot of speed. I think Dave has a 32 right now. Might be a 33, but I think it's a 32. All right. Timer's almost synced up, so we're about to see Dave moving yet again. Programmatic about one of these 500-meter sections ahead, but of course we have seen anything can happen in both these sections and in flags. Yeah, and I think with Dave, it's one of those, like, it's a matter of grinding situations. I think his skill level is definitely a little bit above a 32. So he could very well PB with this. It'd be a little bit of a shame to lose while you still PB in this run, but still getting a ton of points that way. So, I mean, no shame in it at all. As Programmatic moving on up to 1,500 meters. Not going to be seeing the Aurora demo. As Dave enters 1,000. Has to take the retry, not quite getting far enough up in order to actually make it to this platform. Oh, Dave having some issues with that key. Gonna go ahead and decide to just come back for it. Yeah, smart routing there. There's a little bit more time in 1,500, unfortunately. Or 1,000, sorry. Programmatic, meanwhile, working through 1,500. And at the orb section now. Now remember, folks, this race is still very far from over. Dave going for the Aurora demo and getting it second try. What even is this? Okay. Okay. Taking time save anywhere he can find it. Wow. That was pretty nutty. I wasn't expecting him to go for that. Programmatic with some clean movement through Golden Ridge, though. Might see a bit of bounding under some terrain. Ooh, a death late in this auto-scroller room. That is huge for Dave. Just, oh, he is loathing that block right now. Dave, meanwhile, unfortunately taking a death right on the end of 1,500. But for the first time in this summit, they are going to be at the same section yet again, meter-wise. And for anyone that doesn't know, the metering system here is actually a reference to the Celeste Classic game. The original Celeste was actually a game jam game made for a system called the Pico 8, which is like this, like, it's a model of a computer system that only exists in emulator, and it's for game makers to make like pretty basic retro looking games. And anyway, in that game, all of the like rooms per se were actually labeled as like some number of meters. So it's like you'd finally get through a room and then it would say like, oh, now you're at 1,500, now you're at 1,600. So kind of neat little throwback to where the game all started from. Yeah, Celeste Classic is actually inside the game. You can find a Pico 8 in Chapter 3. Programmatic with some B movement. I think this section in Summit honestly is more reminiscent of Temple B than Temple A, but it could just be me. Win Celeste Classic League? I don't know. That'd be pretty nutty. Okay, Programmatic going out of the Mirror Temple Revisit. Dave, meanwhile, leaving Golden Ridge Revisit. They are pretty close. It's going to come down to Programmatic's flags. Oh, missing the dash there and the wall grab. Oh, no, the big fall. Almost taking the spike death there. Oh, boy. It's pretty close right now, actually. At least compared to where these guys started. It's been Programmatic Summit to lose, and so far, just little bits of shakiness all throughout. Like right here, for instance, gonna go ahead and have to get his dash back there. As Dave, meanwhile, gonna be going for a key skip here. Okay, Programmatic making some nice headway on these flags. Up to 23. Dave, unfortunately, with the death here, trying to get through this very narrow gap. And after some door skips, 1, a 2. Very nice from Dave. Oh, barely missing the platform there. Gonna take the bounce this time to make sure he's got that distance. Meanwhile, Programmatic at flag 19. But Dave gonna be soon to join him on that final summit push. Okay, Dave has about a 14 flag deficit to make up here. All eyes gonna kind of be on Programmatic. It is his race to win or lose at this point. Very, very close dash to that spike pillar, but it is working out for him. Gonna grab these keys nice and handily. Oh! That was... Oh, man. At least flag 12 is there. If flag 12 weren't there, that would just be brutal. 11 flag difference right now. Oh, Dave, though, with the unfortunate spike death there. This is Programmatic advancing quickly towards those final flags. Meanwhile, Dave moving on up into the downdraft section, flag 19. It's on everyone's side, Frenzy. We're going to get it taken care of right after this race. Sorry about it. And Programmatic up to flag number 3. Feather movement is good. Gonna be skipping flag 2. And all right, risky move, but it did pay off at flag number 1. Nearly at the final Kashmir flag on the summit of Celeste Mountain. There we go. Programmatic gonna be pulling out the W here. Although Dave not very far behind. Very close to his PB. Don't believe we're on PB pace anymore, but very close nonetheless, and that is super cool for a race. 31:35 though from Programmatic. GG's in the chat. Meanwhile, we've got Dave on flag number 4. Gonna very cleanly be able to finish within 2 minutes, so not bad at all. Gonna be able to nab himself at least 18 points. Probably gonna be over 20, which for a loss is not bad, but with a spike death like that, could get a little bit hairy. Okay, flag number 1. And he's on the summit with a 32.52. GG's to Davesterio as well. Finishing it up very nicely, just about 1:30 behind his opponent. I think he's going to be able to get himself about 20, 21 points with that. So very, very nice finish. And let's see if we can get the guys in the call for interviews. Hello, Programmatic. How are you feeling after that win?
I think, I mean, it felt like really, like a really decent run out of Reflection, at least. Like, my old site has some stupid deaths in it. Temple B went really well, even though Temple A had a lot of trouble in the cassette room. The only chapter that I'm kind of upset about is the Summit, because that second auto scroller in 1500 in 2000 is the most unlikely place to die, and somehow also the most costly place to die.
Yeah, and like where exactly you died, like it was, I was sure you must have just been seething having to rewrite the block.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, clean flag section though, and that's really what it started to kind of come down to, because y'all were getting pretty close towards the end there.
Oh, really? I didn't realize how close it was at the end of that.
And hello to Dave in the call. How are you feeling about the run overall?
Yo. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I've only gotten 32. Ooh, I want to say it's either the second or third time I've gotten a 32, I believe. So honestly, couldn't really ask for anything better with 2 failed bubs drops. So.
So
yeah. Yeah, just an unfortunate mistake there. But you were on PB pace going into Summit still, right?
Yeah, so my Reflection, I was 21 seconds behind PB. My Summit has like a 9:42 in my PB, so there's still like quite a bit of time to save there. But yeah, so I was 21 seconds off of PB going into Summit, and coincidentally, I finished 21 seconds off of PB. But yeah, I don't think I was necessarily like super disappointed on anything besides missing Bub's drop. I knew I wasn't necessarily favored to win this race because Programmatic's got about like a minute and a half on me, so I knew I was gonna have to pull out all the stops and just play for consistency. And like if anything, this race was to push me to just be a better player, because like maybe not so much thinking about the win, but just thinking about how I would approach this matchup.
Right. And you're walking away with a really healthy number of points for a loss. So I mean, GG's for that. And speaking of pulling out all the stops, what was with that Aurora demo in 1500?
What did you do in 1500?
The demo dash in the second screen.
Oh, you went for that?
So like I saw Aurora do that like yesterday, and then I was like, wait, that's a thing, and I did it, and dude, it's easy. Well, I mean, like the setup is there, you just gotta set it up. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna stun on it.
That was, I mean, getting it second try, but I think that was still like a little bit of time save. And I mean, it was impressive to see nonetheless.
I'm not sure if it saves time on the second try. It's probably like 0.3 or something if you get it first try.
Yeah, what was unfortunate was he got it first try, but then like died right after the dash itself. Like I think you maybe dashed a little too early or something.
I think you need to do like another dash or like a jump right after the demo so that you actually land on the platform, because otherwise the demo actually just makes you fall under it.
Yeah, it's like I demoed through, and then I didn't get a dash quick enough, and I sort of just fell and touched the dust bunnies below me.
Yeah.
Or like I didn't clip like all the way through. It's like I was through, but not like all the way through the first time. But but yeah, like honestly, GG's on that race. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's this was your first round for the GSA tournament, right?
Yeah. And Electric, I know you were there when I did a 46-hour stream. So honestly, my brain is still trying to put itself back together after that. So I was stoked to get a 32.
Yeah, I mean, what were the nerves like in early game? Because I mean, y'all were both really, really close throughout. I think like chapter 3 was really where the lead started to develop a bit. But
What were your nerves like?
What is it?
What were your
Like,
nerves like? How are you feeling?
I mean, I was feeling confident at the start too. Like, I mean, I wasn't watching the stream, so I didn't know how close things were, and they tend to be close in the early chapters, especially since I had a really bad old site. But
Yeah, I
um,
can't have the stream open. No way. Like I can't have stream open. I can't have chat open. Also, hey, I want to check who happened to have audio at the beginning. Was it me or Programmatic?
I actually have no idea because commentators don't get audio.
Oh, sorry, Alice.
yeah,
I'm
it's
getting word
Discord.
from Simply that I had audio. Apologies for the stream alert in the. All right, yeah. Simply said he switched it. Nice. GG's on you, man. Because I didn't realize I had stream alerts, even though I didn't have a Twitch alert source.
Yeah, I think during my race with Flesh, I got one follow, and I didn't realize I had a lot on.
And I was just like, well, this is unfortunate, but I nipped that. I think that just after the end of chapter 1. But yeah, shouts out to Simply for making sure the stream is a-okay.
Yep. And speaking of the stream and such, we will be restarting the stream right after this interview is over, which will be in just a moment. So don't be alarmed at that. But the next race, we shouldn't have any of the frame rate issues that we had on this one. So, but stick around, even though like the stream is going to go down for a little bit. We will be back momentarily. But I mean, GG's to both of you. Really, really solid race. I mean, nice solid times. Only like about a minute 20 apart or so, a little less than that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a little bit
GG's.
surprised that I managed to sub 32 in both races so far. Like, I think my last race was better than this one. I think it was like a 31-13 or something. But I mean, I was very much on pace to beat that easily if I had a decent summit.
And
But
if I'm not
like everything
mistaken,
went wrong at summit this race.
if
So
I'm if I'm not mistaken, you said before your last race you were kind of struggling to get sub 33.
no, I was
Oh, I think
struggling
that
to
was somebody
keep
else
my
then.
average below 32.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But all
Well,
right,
I
I
mean,
think that's
this.
it for me.
Yep.
But
I
yeah.
mean, this race will certainly contribute towards getting that average down. Well, GG's to both. Look forward to seeing your upcoming races. I know Dave's still got a couple left.
Yep.
And
And then
programmatic.
I
Do you
have
still have one?
I have Archivo this Saturday.
Oh, that'll be an
That's
exciting
gonna be
one.
a real close one, yeah.
Well,
So
GG's.
if I can get another time like this race or the last, I think I can definitely compete,
But of
depending on what
course,
his average looks like.
yeah, that'll be a really interesting one to see. I'm really excited about that. Well, GG's guys. Chat, don't go anywhere. We've got YP versus Crichter coming up in just a little bit. 5 p.m. EST, literally 10 minutes away. But for now, I'm Electric. It's been a pleasure calming this race, and I hope to see you for the next one. If not, hope you had a good day, and peace out, guys. We'll be right back.